My name is Lauren and I'm a 2019 graduate of BA Illustration from Camberwell, University of the Arts, London. And this is a presentation to help students such as yourself in the early stages of your university applications. So feel free to grab your notebook for notes and we can start. So this presentation is going to cover how to research different university courses and the universities themselves, and then how to decide on the right course area for you. Afterwards, Sinead will be covering with you how to begin your personal statement and advice on how to narrow down your choices. So, researching universities and courses thoroughly. Of course, this is a very important one, and we will go on to cover some key things that you should be looking into when choosing your options. But first, let's start with understanding entry requirements. So these are specific qualifications and grades that you need to have in order for you to be accepted onto that particular course. And remember that most courses will require you to have some pre-16 qualifications, which are grades such as GCSEs or their equivalent. If you want to know where you can find entry requirements for the courses that interest you, you can find them on the website pages. So you can see an example below, which is for the University of Brighton's Fine Art degree for the BA course. And you'll notice in the entry requirements that it mentions you need. And don't worry if you don't know what UCAS points are, I'm going to explain that for you now. What are UCAS points? UCAS points are basically a conversion of your grades or your qualifications into numbers, and that's what gives you the UCAS points. So the better your grade, or the higher your qualification, then the higher the number of UCAS points this will represent. To be eligible for a particular course, you will need to achieve a certain amount of UCAS points, which will vary between different courses. So you can see on this example of the table that I've inserted, I found this on applytouni.com, and it shows you what your conversions of your extended diploma grades would be into UCAS points and also their A-level equivalent. So for example, you can see that the triple merit is 240 UCAS points, and that will be the equivalent of 3C A-level grades. And if you want to calculate your UCAS points yourself or calculate your predicted grades, then you can go to ucas.com, calculate your UCAS tariff points, just to be sure that you're hitting the right mark. Let's talk about the basics of deciding on a course. So you ideally want to aim to have a handful of potential universities that you're applying to. Research and consider which ones are the best fits for you by finding out course content. Remember, it's important to be aware that different universities and the courses they offer will operate differently to others when it comes to things like their approaches to teaching the course, how the course is run, course content, the modules, and so on. So look onto the university course websites and carefully read through the course content, which will cover what you can expect from each year of the course. Facilities, so this can be things like the library, studio spaces, workshop areas. I think that this will be especially important for people that are interested in studying something in a creative field. You'll also want to be doing some research into the experiences of current students and possibly graduates of that university or graduates of the course that you're interested in to get an idea of what you can expect. So you can find things like course reviews, online forums, course satisfaction rates online, and I really recommend checking out the studentroom.co.uk for this one. Next is location and accessibility. So you need to be thinking about how close is the university to you? Is the university accessible? How long would the commute take? Would you want to move into student accommodation? Student societies. You might be drawn to some specific societies and clubs that the student union has to offer. It's a great way to socialise, especially when you're in your first year, and you can meet new people this way. You can learn and hone new skills relevant to your course or even separate from your course. Another thing I want to mention is student support services. Support services are open to all students and is utilised by many for many different reasons. It's good to read up about these things early, just so that you know they're there when you might need it, if you might need it. So student support services will cover things like counselling, mental health issues, any general issues that you're having really, disability services, health advice, general support and general advice. So really important stuff that's worth knowing is there for you. And I just want to finally recommend on this section that you Google search UCAS chat to students, and you'll see on the UCAS website some resources. But this one allows you to contact and ask questions to current students studying at universities that you might actually be interested in or considering to applying to. We'll focus more on selecting courses now. If you're struggling a little with your self-reflection, or if you still can't figure out what you want to study at university, here are a few links that might be worth taking note of. So as I've already mentioned many times, UCAS, it has an abundance of information and advice. They have an A to Z of universities for you to explore, a newsletter you can sign up to, quizzes for you to take part in to help you discover what you might want to study if you're currently unsure. And then there's also the Uni Guide. This is the same as with UCAS, where you can search different unis and courses on there. On the Uni Guide's homepage, there's also a Get Advice drop-down menu, and that covers a lot of things. That would be relevant to you all. The studentroom.co.uk and prospects.ac.uk are also worth having a browse of if you get a moment. So reflection around these questions first and foremost is the most important thing. You want to feel confident in your decision to commit X amount of time that you're studying and investing yourself in whatever course it is that you pick, and even beyond that into your future career. So you need to be asking yourself questions like, what am I most passionate about and what interests me the most? What do I enjoy doing? What are my goals and what subject would best help me to achieve those specific goals? And ultimately, what career do I actually want to have? Because your number one driving force should be choosing something that makes you happy and brings you satisfaction. I would like to remind you that this is your choice ultimately and yours alone to make. So listen to what feels right for you and try not to allow what any outside influence or anyone else has to say or think dominate your decision here. Because when you're happy and when you're enjoying whatever it is that you're doing, the more natural your commitment and dedication for that thing will be. If you're struggling with finding what you want to study at university, then maybe reframe the question. Focus more on the question of, what career do I want to have one day? Understanding what skills you might need to help you get the career you want essentially gives you a game plan and goal to work towards. So you can find job specifications online, which can help you to understand what you would need. Here's a couple of links that can help you with this. So firstly, I recommend the National Careers Service.gov.uk, which can provide you with information, advice and guidance when it comes to the decision making on learning, training and work related things. You can assess your own skills there, and it gives you plenty of information about what each of the hundreds of jobs on there involve. You can also search UCAS Explore Jobs. So on ucas.com you can browse their job section and you can discover many different kinds of careers there, what they entail, what's required skill-wise for that career, and it also includes what grades and degrees you might need to be a part of that field of work. And that's about it from me, and I hope you managed to find some useful tips in here and perhaps a few new handy resources. And I wish you all the happiness and the very best with your futures.